What's up, everyone? It's your boy Danny Vega, aka Danny V, and welcome back to the Danny Vega Show. And I got a surprise for everyone. And if this works finally, then check this out. If not, it's on regular old Zoom. Boom! Woo! Yes. What is up, everyone? All right, boys, you know what to do.
Good, everybody. My name is Marcus McGill. It's good to be back with my brother Danny B. Here to talk all things Spider-Man and No Way Home. Um, just a heads up, Terrifier 2 coming out top of next year, springish, and also keep an eye out for Stream and scout our Indiegogo with that. Take care.
Hey, this is Dave from Nerdbox. New hat, new logo there. And stopping in to talk about some Spider-Man, all-time favorite character. And if you stop over on Nerdbox now, you get to see season 2 of 5 Things, where Danny was on season 1 last year. And we have some cool guests this year. We have Ryan Erie from Screen Crush. We have a special guest from Home Alone. The first one, not the current movie. And in the next week or so, we're going to drop a little Christmas present called Popcorn Theory. It's going to be our pilot episode where we talk about fan theories. And we're going to talk about who the Scream killer is in Scream 5.
Yo, what's going on, people? It is Ian Frierson on the map. I'm here to talk Spider-Man No Way Home. As y'all see, I'm already suited and booted for it, so I'm ready. Check out my Instagram, Scarlet_8_spider. Let's just get into it.
All right. Yo, you have no idea how excited I am about this. Like, oh my god. Speaking of which, Dave, I already have my predictions of Scream 5. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
But for those of
It's going
you,
to blow everybody's mind. I'm just going to throw that out there.
oh
First one's
mine,
gonna-
my prediction is gonna blow everyone's mind. So I already have a bet with Marcus. I think, right, Marcus? We have a bet on who's the killer.
Mhm.
All right. Anyway, so enough about that. Let's get into Spider-Man before people click off this video.
Right.
So, dude, for everyone out there that is watching, Ian called so many things that happen in the shows to tie it into Spider-Man, etc., that it blew my mind. I could not believe it. One thing Ian called that it looks like this is going to be the first subject of how it's going to tie into everything in Spider-Man is Ian called the Dark Avengers coming. And I did not believe him until we saw, um, what's his name? The Captain America. I forgot already.
U.S. agent.
U.S. agent. When
Yes,
he went
right.
crazy. And then he had his own shield at the end. And U.S. agent is one of the Dark Avengers, but who else is part of the Dark Avengers besides like Daken and everything is Norman Osborn as the Iron Patriot. So, Ian, I want you to deep dive into that, man. Like, I don't know how the hell you figured that out. Obviously, the Young Avengers, everyone's like, oh, the Young Avengers because they showed Speed and Wiccan and then also this, the new
Right.
Hawkeye, etc. However, I think you're right. I think the next big thing is Dark Avengers versus the regular Avengers.
Yeah.
You left out one.
What people really like is groups, right? They like a group that has gone through the struggle, outsiders that make it on top. So Marvel has a lot of that in storytelling, where you have the Midnight Suns, Guardians of the Galaxy, you have the Young Avengers, they have their own squad. You even have Alpha Flight. So that is what Kevin Feige and the Marvel team from the MCU, that's what they're bringing out because they want to show everybody, look, we have more stories. It's not just the core people. We got a lot more to show you guys. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect every single one. So when you're watching these movies, it's almost like you're reading a comic book. And that's what they're doing. They're telling that story for us. So the people that are reading the comics are saying, "Oh snap, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. That's going to happen," and they're going to try to connect those dots to that story.
Man,
You had me there when you said groups, cause the Eternals. Oh, oh man.
Well, see, here's the thing about the Eternals, right? I think it's gonna play a bigger picture in everything. Like, there's three stories that are going on right now. Um, you've got mobsters, and you've got people that are against the blip and everything like that. Then you got a whole space, then you got a multiverse. They're gonna tie this whole thing all into one. Where we were on the Infinity Saga, we were focused on, boom, who is this guy? Thanos. They're now saying, okay, you're going to be watching this story and this story and this story and watch these two characters intertwine. So just because the Eternals may not have been that movie that we want to watch, guess what? It's that connector movie. And I guarantee you're going to see another part of where the group of the Eternals come back and you can say, oh. So that's what they're doing, is they're connecting the pieces together.
I think you said something smart to me last time that a lot of people, which I think you're going to be correct in the next movie, is that the monster in Shang-Chi was actually a deviant.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I mean, like, look at the what they were creating in Eternals. Like, if there were rings, like those were the rings. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they're connecting that whole full saga story together. And what better way to do this? Spider-Man is hot right now. I'm excited if Shang-Chi and Spider-Man get together. Because remember, Spider-Man don't know how to fight. So there's a comic book where Shang-Chi is teaching him how to fight. Which is, I mean, if that happens, it's gonna blow water. I'm telling you, it's gonna go crazy.
By the way, that's when he couldn't use his spider senses anymore, and that's what happened. And yeah, you know what, man? I don't know if they would play into that because that was, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that along the lines of him fighting Doc Ock before he becomes Superior Spider-Man? There was a machine or something, right, that was triggering his spider sense all the time. That's why he couldn't use it.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering how this is going to happen and tie in. The reason why I mentioned all this, just to stay on topic, is that there was the leak that came out. Am I still lagging a little bit?
You cut off.
I did? I cut off completely?
Yeah.
Shit.
There was a leak that came out, and that was it.
Shit. How are we doing now?
We're good. You just can't say the word leak. That's why.
For real, right?
You can't say the word leak because they're on you right now.
Oh my god. For real,
even
man.
You got her Instagram blocked.
For real. What I was saying was that the leak came out, full plot leak. I didn't know, and I was like, oh man, I hope not. And the trailer came out and it confirmed a lot of things. Now, one of the things that was in the leak, but now it's everywhere, is that Green Goblin is your main villain, even though they're showing Alfred Molina and stuff like that. That Green Goblin's the main. So, the thing is, in this leak that was coming out, it was saying how there's going to be a Norman Osborn in Tom Holland's universe, but it doesn't elaborate, thank God. It doesn't elaborate what, why, or anything. Thank goodness, right. Because I was just like, I don't want to know the whole story. Now, here's the deal. Me and Ian were discussing is that the tie into the Dark Avengers could be that in this universe, let's say, for instance, Tom Holland's Norman is good, right? Good, air quotes. So was the Norman Osborn in Dark Avengers. He was good until he got the Iron Patriot. So, I don't know, man. What do you guys think?
Well, I'll say, so Ian brought up, you all bringing up the Dark Avengers, Norman, and there's one other person, U.S. Patriot, there's one other person that got introduced and that you all forgot to mention was Elena.
Oh, and yeah.
So Elena, I don't know if you all been watching Hawkeye, but I mean, not to spoil it, but I'll just say she's back. I'll put it that way. She's back. So whether or not she'll whenever they decide to introduce everybody in the Dark Avengers, especially with what's her name, Julia Louis Dreyfus playing
Val.
the Val.
Val.
Yeah, uh, I could see that happening sooner than later, as far as like whether it's going to be in the shows um, next year or one of the upcoming movies after Doctor Strange. Is the Dark Avengers is definitely happening sooner, a lot
Yeah.
sooner than later.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I do see the Norman like spearheading that, whether it's Norman from Tom Holland's universe, like you said, Danny, or Norman from Toby's universe. And
Mm.
my
Interesting.
theory off of that is based off of what you just said, because I never heard of that, so it was interesting, new news to me. I kind of like that idea because I could see Willem Dafoe playing both, where in the trailers we seen him in the traditional costume from the 2002 film, but if you remember, I hinted at that they got the newer costume from the old comic. I could see that possibly being Tom Holland's Norman,
Right.
somehow getting warped by Toby's Norman Osborn, and he's becoming, the new MCU's Green Goblin in Tom Holland's universe, in this universe
Right.
with the
Right.
new costume, with the new costume. So
Okay.
Dave, what do you think?
They're good theories. I didn't follow Dark Avengers. Life hit me, and at some point, I had to say, all right, comics are too expensive. I can't follow the stories no more. So it's interesting to hear. It is, man. It's four kids, 60 hours.
Yeah.
There's no time for comic books.
None.
Yeah, so I liked listening to these theories on that. Now, man, I hope that leaked, Danny, that you heard. That just hearing that there's a Norman Osborn in Tom Holland's universe. Is it a variant? Is it just a multiverse person? I don't know. I'd like to see Norman Osborn come back, especially with Willem Dafoe in that character, and remain in maybe the next couple of films. But we'll see.
The thing is, though, in order for it to be a variant, remember they would have to step out of line. So that right there, I don't know, because if the Norman Osborn in his universe is going to be kind of like J. Jonah Jameson, it's in his universe. However, it's not a variant because they didn't step out of line. Anybody that steps out of line, that what they're supposed to do, then would become a variant. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say Tom Holland's Spider-Man ends up turning into a villain, hypothetical.
Right.
Then he would be considered a variant because that's not what Tom Holland's Spider-Man's supposed to do. So, I don't know. That'd be great. Yeah, maybe he turns into a variant. Maybe he's a good guy. This Norman warps his mind like Marcus was saying, and then he becomes a variant. Then all of a sudden now he's that. But what I'm speaking of variants and tying it into Loki, if Venom is in this at all, if big, you know what it is? I think I'm lagging because I move so fast. That's what it is. Can't keep
Yeah.
up. All right.
I mean, you're
So,
fine right now.
yeah, now because I stopped moving. All right. So if Venom is in this movie at all, like at all, I really do want to see that because remember Venom when Eddie asked, "What'd you do?" He's like, "It wasn't me." Like, how did he come here? Apparently, a lot of people on YouTube were dissecting that. Oh, well, it's not Doctor Strange's magic because it happened while Tom Holland was being revealed. So they're thinking that it has to tie in with Loki when Sylvie killed He Who Remains. Because remember, they were saying how sometimes the universes intertwine, and I think that's what's happening. I think the Sony verse and the MCU right now is intertwining at this moment. And then if it separates or if it doesn't separate, who knows? Especially with the Ian called this way before it was even announced. The Sony Spider Verse.
Yeah.
So who knows? What I would love to see, especially that the new teaser trailer dropped, I would love to see this crossover with Into the Spider Verse because this part two is called Across the Spider Verse.
Mhm.
Part one. Yeah.
Part one, exactly. I would love to see if those characters came into the live action,
Man.
universe. That'd be incredible. So,
Yeah,
I thought that's how they were
you
always
were
going to
talking
set it up.
about. Okay.
really?
You were talking about variants. Owen Wilson's character, he was a variant. Remember,
That's right.
they were all the TVA were variants. So what did he do? You said something about them stepping on the line to become a variant. What did he do to become a variant? Oops, sorry. Because just like what's her name? Who was running everything? She was a school
She was a
principal or
variant.
teacher or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she was a variant. So it was like, it wasn't like necessarily anything. I don't think
Out of the ordinary.
negative.
Yeah.
Out of the ordinary. It was just the multiverse, just like He Who Remains explained. It was there. It was always there. He just kept it in line by using the TVA. So it was always multiple versions of ourselves everywhere.
No, you missed it though.
It's just he kept it in different timelines, but he just kept it all, in line, in order.
No, that He Who Remains separated his timeline from everybody else's. That's why I was in a circle. And so they had their own multiverses in that circle. In that circle, they had their own variants in that circle. But what happened is that he said that if anyone stepped out of line, would create a nexus event, basically branching that circle off into the others. So that's why what he did was anytime, and it said it too. It doesn't have to be malicious. You can be, hey, every time you're destined to turn right, all of a sudden the one day you're like, man, I'm turning left. All of a sudden you're creating a nexus event, and now you're a variant.
So guess what? You just literally opened up the biggest theory. You ready for this? You said that a nexus event is when somebody goes the opposite way and does something completely different. Guess what? The nexus event is when Tom Holland goes to Doctor Strange and they do that spell. That's the nexus event.
That's probably why he can't stop it from happening, the whole thing.
Bingo. Now here's the crazy part. This is my expectation. They say Norman Osborn is a big part in this movie, but what if Norman Osborn runs into his variant, right? And his variant is Woody Harrelson, who resembles Carnage, because that's right, Norman Osborn did have the Carnage symbiote, and that would bring Eddie Brock, Spider-Man together. That'd be nuts. Because here's the thing, they killed him off too quickly. And that would just blow everybody's minds if you saw Woody Harrelson in Tom Holland's world as Norman Osborn.
Anyone want to say something before I go off?
I like that idea because he's staring at the screen, and that's when he says, "Oh, I recognize him," and he's not looking at Tom Holland; he's looking behind Tom Holland. But I honestly, I hope Venom doesn't show up until the end credits.
Yeah, end credits, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be end credits because I know COVID affected like the order of the movies when they were dropping and all that stuff, but it would have to be the end of the movie because wherever he was, wherever that island was, remember when Venom licked the screen and was like, "Oh, he looks tasty" or whatever he said in that post-credit scene, he has to get to New York.
Yeah,
wherever he has to get over to New York from wherever he was. So yeah, him showing up at like a post-credit scene would be perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do you one better, man. So with all these leaks of 1, 2, and 3 of all these 3 Spider-Men, right?
Right.
And obviously they are obligated to say no, and obviously the stunt doubles and stuff like that, right?
Right.
What if that was to throw everyone off, and the CGI, the person that's hitting Lizard, was Venom? What if it's Spider-Man and Venom at the end fighting them?
That would be nuts.
I can't see that just yet.
Leave the theater.
I don't see it just yet either. However,
it'd be like Spider-Man 3 all over again. Oh my god.
Yeah, it would be. Unless it would be foolish why they bleeped it out because of the fact that they showed a scene of Electro shooting his electricity at Doc Ock. It could have been Doc Ock. Teaming up with him. So
like
they didn't want to give that away.
Usually with the trailers, they will try to take stuff out. Like remember when Civil War came out and the Civil War trailer came out? You didn't see Spider-Man in the Civil War trailer at all when they were running up against each other. So they can edit that stuff out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I honestly agree with you boys on Venom being at the end. However,
I think Venom's going to be at the end, but I think it's going to be a big aha. Like I think it's going to be like the big.
Now you know who I would love to see show up in the post-credit scene, especially since, and he's my favorite Spider-Man villain, but Kraven the Hunter, because of the fact that we know Aaron Taylor Johnson has been cast as Kraven, and they said, well, the film originally was supposed to come out 2022, but now it's been pushed back to 2023. So, I mean, he could pop up. And then we still don't know who the 6th member of the Sinister Six is.
Gotta be Mysterio, man. Gotta be Mysterio. Gotta be, bro. Gotta be Mysterio.
I think Doc Ock is good. I think Doc Ock is good. I don't think he's a part of the Sinister Six. I think he's good in this one.
Well, we'll see. However, I agree with Ian on one part and one part only. You ready for it? So, Sandman is not bad in Spider-Man 3. And Sandman didn't die in Spider-Man 3.
Right.
So that means, remember, who did the elementals? Was Mysterio in the previous movie. So that means Sandman could possibly just be Mysterio.
Yeah. And see, here's the biggest clue that when I was watching the movies again, every Spider-Man MCU movie had a twist, right? Homecoming. Oh my God, the girl I'm dating taking to Homecoming is Vulture's. You know that's her dad. In Far From Home, you had Mysterio was the one that made the glasses. Big, huge clue right there. So we see Mysterio die. We see this footage of Spider-Man, not doing what he's supposed to do. It's all over New York, but we forget that Mysterio was the one that created the idea for Barf. So therefore, if he created the idea for Barf and he got the glasses back, could it have gotten an upgrade? You know what I'm saying? Could it have gotten to an extent of touching to another character to make it go to a little bit more Stark techy to bring some of these villains out? You just don't know. So I think the biggest twist is Mysterio is not dead.
You know, his the one guy that used to work for Tony too. So the one that was Mysterio's, the one that was behind everything.
Did you know that's what's that movie? The Christmas movie. God, with the little kid. You know what I'm talking about with the glasses? That's him.
Oh, the Christmas.
Yeah, that's him.
Story?
That's the kid from the Christmas Story.
No way.
Look at it. Look at it.
Oh,
yeah, the Christmas Story.
The scientist.
Yes, that's him.
Guy. Oh my God.
That is him. You didn't think about it. You're like,
looking at it now. I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow.
All right. So here's the deal. I honestly, just like everyone else, I honestly think these 3 are in it. Whether or not they come in early. I don't think so. I think they probably come in probably middle to end. However, there's one thing that I think I got an idea of who's fighting who. And you ready for it?
True.
Toby's gonna fight Electro. Holland is fighting Sandman, like you saw in the trailer, and Garfield's fighting Lizard. And here's why. The biggest clue for me, if the leaks are real, right? If you read Andrew's lips, everyone's like, "Oh, so there's no way back home." No, that's bullshit. If you read his lips, he goes, "So you have like web blood."
Yep.
And remember, what did Electro do to Garfield all the time? He fried the web shooters. Remember, he kept frying the web shooters.
Yeah.
He had to make them magnetic. If they just show up there and there's nothing to make them magnetic, and you don't have a magnetic suit, then most likely, Toby would probably be like, "Oh, I can fight him." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, I have organic webs, so you have like
Right.
web blood."
Yeah,
So the
that makes
dialogue could
sense,
be
yeah.
the dialogue could be something like that. So then when it's 3-on-3, Electro would be fighting Toby because it's not gonna destroy his web shooters.
Right.
And then Holland with his suit can possibly fight because it's an integrated suit, right? Like they call it the integrated suit, like Iron Spider with the new suit, right? So
Right.
cool. He probably has much more to withstand a big hit like that. And then you have Andrew, who already knows how the lizard works, and
Right.
could probably talk to him like Dr. Connors, it's me, you know what I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there we go.
I got a question.
Yeah. What's
Go
up?
ahead, Dave.
Which Spider-Man dies?
I don't think any of
Holland.
them.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't think any of
They
them.
said he
died.
signed. No, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what though? Honestly, now that I think about it, why is the lizard in this movie? The lizard didn't die.
None of
Dr. Connors got locked up.
And see, that's what I'm saying is it just because he's saying you're fighting ghosts, that's throwing everybody off. He doesn't
Well,
know
no,
what
he's
happens in the universes.
It's another trailer where Doctor Strange says that they all died in their
Yeah.
universe. Remember, he said that, and that they
And
destined to die.
that's why I think Doctor Strange is acting a little funny. He's acting a little weird.
Agatha.
I wouldn't be surprised if Doctor Strange was Mysterio.
Oh, Agatha.
The whole blow up and everything.
You think Doctor Strange Mysterio? I don't think so. If
What
they're
about
going through
Skrull?
the multiverse, if they're going, multiverse. I can't speak.
Totally a meme on that multi-voice.
Multiverse. I'm hitting puberty, guys. I'm hitting puberty. It's great. So what I was saying was, in the multiverse, you need someone that has power like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it could be a couple of people in my head, and this would be hella dope to tie it in. You ready?
Right.
Either Doctor Strange is himself, right? Whatever.
Got it.
If he's not, if it's Agatha because of the wink, everyone's saying that's the Agatha wink.
I said that before, yeah.
Yep. It could be Scarlet Witch already. Because remember, they said that she's as powerful. I mean, she's not as powerful. Excuse me. She's stronger than the Doctor Strange.
Truth.
So she had the Darkhold at the end of WandaVision.
Right.
So she could be looking in Stranger's thing to try to get her kids back, and then these people come in and she switches into Doctor Strange. And that would make sense of why she messes up the spell. Because she's new at this, she's just learning, and the spell is dangerous.
Right.
It would make sense.
That would.
Yeah, it would. I'm not gonna lie.
It would make sense that it is a Scarlet Witch the whole time. She messes it up. Yeah. She messes everything up because she doesn't know. She's just learning.
Yeah.
Or if we get comic book accurate, then it is Mephisto. Finally, after all this time, we got Mephisto.
I like the Scarlet Witch idea because that definitely sets her up for why she's going to be in Doctor Strange too.
True.
That
Bingo.
sets her up for character arc for being in that movie. So.
Bingo.
I think and I thought the same thing too. Like I was hitting you up with those theories. It was Agatha, it was this. I think that Doctor Strange is Mysterio. And the reason why I say that is because Mysterio, think about it. Peter went to Mysterio because he said, listen, this stuff that's happening, I want it to reverse. I don't even want Mysterio to be dead. I don't want, basically, he's saying, all right, well, we're going to make a world where nobody knows Spider-Man. Why would he do something like that? Why don't he just go back and do a spell so that way Mysterio won't die? And basically, because the world hates him, because why? He killed Mysterio. So go back to that point where he can revamp that. Now, if I'm Mysterio, I'm going to change into Doctor Strange because one, who has the ability to have Stark tech? Mysterio. Because why? He used to work with Stark. So therefore he has the ability to have that Stark tech with these already made. So and he was the first person to actually tell Peter about the multiverse. That
Correct.
was
However, I'm going to interrupt you here before you get too far. Doc Ock. Doc Ock has nanotechnology. Doc Ock
right.
in a different universe worked with Tony Stark.
Exactly.
So we don't know who the hell gave Jamie Foxx an arc reactor. Because it showed in one of the trailers he has an arc reactor.
Absolutely.
We don't know. It could be Mysterio. It could be Doc Ock. Because remember, Doc Ock's arms started absorbing the nanotech off of Peter's suit. So it could be any of those guys.
If you were Mysterio and you got killed in your own world, when you want to go to another multiverse where all the other Spider-Men are heroes, and you say, you know what, I'm going to grab every single villain that got killed or, written off by Spider-Man, bring them to my world where I got killed and give them Stark tech. Boom. That's it. Plain and simple.
Yeah, could be. I just think with everything going on, I'm gonna go with my Scarlet. So let's list our theories. So right now my two theories are it's either Scarlet Witch,
got it,
or it's going to be finally we're gonna get our Mephisto finally, because remember when Mephisto did all that in the comic, Doctor Strange had to reverse it, everything that Mephisto did.
Correct.
So I'm calling those two. I'm calling it's either one of those two. All right, who's next?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Scarlet, and this is gonna probably sound a little sexist, but the hoodie, right? That's something more maybe a female would wear, right? And she went to change. I like it. She went to change. It's like, oh shit, I got the hoodie on still. That's where I'm going.
All right.
I'm with the like I said, I like the Scarlet Witch idea because that's up for Doctor Strange too. So
I'm gonna go with Mysterio. I believe Mysterio is not dead. I mean, Michael Keaton already stated that he's doing more Marvel and Sony pictures, and he's already lined up to do some stuff. And the way Marvel is, they're just going to just say, hey, boom, here's a character. And we're just going to go, aha. If they bring Kingpin at the end or in some hints of whatever it is in Hawkeye, and they tie Kingpin in with Spider-Man, like I said, Mysterio, Spider-Man, Kingpin, they're all linked together. I mean, who bought the Avengers Tower? They already asked Tom Holland that, and he's like, oh, and he messaged Zendaya, and she's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I mean, who bought it? Did Norman Osborn bought it? Did Kingpin buy
Richards,
it?
bro.
It could be. You just never know.
Fantastic Four building, man. Tell you.
and think about Fisk showing up in Hawkeye because the latest episode, they did introduce a character that you do not see or hear.
Yeah.
You just see a suit and a hand.
Forget
So
Hawkeye, man.
that would be interesting if it is Fisk.
Man,
That
if
show
William
is
Fisk
trash.
is, you're so funny. If
It
he's
is.
if they bring Kingpin in the same jail as Vulture, I'll flip. I'll literally flip.
God dang it, Ian! Now you made me think. You know who could be the sixth person in Sinister Six?
Who is that?
Scorpion,
It could be
Yep.
Scorpion.
because Scorpion in Homecoming.
Yeah. You,
God
you
damn
got a lot of villains, man. Like I said, you have a lot of villains that, I think we're focused on the Sinister Six. I think it's gonna be, I'm gonna be honest, I think it's gonna be like a whole load of them. I think it's gonna be 12 of them.
If you follow the Lego toys too, there's Spider Slayers that are getting
That's
released.
Look, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be an all-out melee. I think it's gonna be like Endgame.
You all think of my well, this is my second favorite Spidey villain, Chameleon showing up.
Yeah, I think
After
Chameleon's
how
gonna
well they done, after how well they handled Mysterio, I think they would do a hell of a job with Chameleon.
Chameleon's a good
Especially
thing.
using Stark Tech too.
What?
That would be sick, dude. Chameleon with Stark Tech.
Hey, don't leave Chameleon out because he is going to be the villain in Craven. You never know. Could Chameleon be Doctor Strange? You just don't know. You don't know who he is. You know what I'm saying? So I like that idea. I do like that. I really, really do.
Let's see. What was I gonna say? Oh, okay. So if none of them are in it, all right. So what do you think the big secret is? What do you think the big hype is?
Because there's this, you brought up leaks. There's two images that got released that definitely one is legit, so they say, and it's all three of them together standing on the construction site, and you see the Statue of Liberty. New York in the background. And there's an image of not Holland, Garfield and McGuire together on set screen, but it's all construction. They're in their respective Spidey gear. So those two images alone, I think they're definitely in it. I won't say that they'll show that part of the trailer where you see Strange standing and you see the Statue of Liberty and he's like, I can't, they're coming through. I don't think that's the moment that they'll come in. I think, like you said, they'll show up, mid to towards the end of the movie. But yeah, I think they're definitely in it.
Look, I'm gonna say this on Friday at 2:00 Eastern. If you hear a loud explosion, it's because it's fucking Venom punching the lizard. And I'm gonna throw my hat and I was like, "That's it, I'm done. I'm just gonna leave the theater because I don't want to see Venom as his partner or his sidekick in it. It better be the other two."
Yeah.
So I heard a rumor, and again, it's just rumor. I don't know. Like, it could be all hearsay, she say, whatever. You know what I mean? But I heard a rumor, but I couldn't find any evidence on it, that the end of this movie, Venom leaves Eddie Brock and goes on to Tom Holland.
I could see that happen because of the post-credit thing where he licked the screen and he was like, "He looks tasty," or something he said, where he was like, he wanted, latch on to him, so, or eat him or whatever. But Venom is definitely like focused on Tom Holland, so yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah, I want one movie of the symbiote on Spider-Man, the whole entire movie, and then it ends just like it does in the comics, and then he goes back to Eddie Brock and he comes back to visit and he attacks Mary Jane, and that sets up the next movie.
That'd be great.
As long as we don't get no Tom Holland dancing and all that. Yeah, doing that down the street. As long as we don't get that, then I'll be happy. Yeah.
Dude, we got that and Into the Spider-Verse, and it was incredible. I'm sorry. When he started doing that, I laughed really hard.
Yeah. I think, what I think is going to happen? I think we're going to see, I think they're going to continue. I think we're going to see Gwen. I think we. I
Stop.
think it's. I think I.
Man,
I think we're gonna see. Listen, I think the next they're gonna go to the next level where he's going to college, and the love interest in college is Gwen Stacy. So I think at the end, it's gonna be MJ is not gonna remember him, and the spell's gonna go through. It's gonna backfire, and then here comes Gwen, new student. Boom.
I think it's
You
going to
know
be
what?
Felicia.
Is that
Yeah,
Felicia?
I was
It's gonna
gonna
be
say
Felicia.
Felicia. Hey, I was gonna say Felicia, but then you know what? Since they're bringing, since they're bringing people in from Garfield and McGuire, what if they brought in what's her name, Shailene Woodley as Mary Jane Watson, since she didn't get to portray her in Garfield's film, even though she filmed her scenes, they didn't put it in the movie. So what if they brought her and she's Mary Jane Watson and Peter is going to college, like you said?
Yeah,
You know,
that
so
could be it.
I like the Felicia Hardy idea, because I love Black Cat, so that would be cool. But I think it would be interesting if they brought in Shailene Woodley as MJ.
Or they can have Betty Brant.
Ian.
They have Betty Brant.
They got Betty
Yeah,
Brant.
but as a love interest, because remember in the comic, she was the first love interest of Peter before.
That is true. Yeah.
Before Gwen.
So if they did that, and then that would open door for Ned to finally become Hobgoblin, because then he'll have a gripe against Peter.
I
that's his
kind
best
of
friend.
like
So.
I kind of like where Ian was going with the Mary Jane not remembering. Right? Maybe she does die in the movie, and the next Mary Jane we see is a clone, and we get the clone story with the Jackal.
And then we start with Scarlet Spider.
You're talking about the clone,
the clone saga.
I think I would say that it backfired. That like it goes with the story, right? Like I think what happens is all the villains get taken away. Boom, we found out who it was. Scooby Doo, blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden, the real spell hits. Nobody knows who Spider-Man is. So Mary Jane doesn't know anything about Peter, and Ned now doesn't know anything about. So introduce Gwen Stacy, Harry Osborn. Boom.
Yeah.
Give him a whole new start on a trilogy.
Yeah, because remember when was it Mephisto, right? Yeah, when Mephisto did the spell that no one could remember him. Remember, he had to give up even MJ remembering him at all.
Actually, he had to give up his marriage.
His marriage.
He gave up his marriage.
Yeah, but remember, she didn't remember him.
Right.
Either. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I can see what you're saying happen.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the two. It was either when he did it, or it's when Doctor Strange redid it, or whatever. All I know is that MJ at one point didn't remember him at all. So what you're saying could hold some validation, man. Yeah. And to make sure that she's safe, he leaves her alone.
Exactly.
And then introduce
that would turn Ned into Hobgoblin, because if he has those powers still by Norman Osborn, and he doesn't know who Peter Parker is and forgets all of that stuff, he's going after him.
Yep.
And actually, he lost a ton of weight too. So
he did.
Yeah.
But I also want to tell you too. So this is a clear concept that all three of them in there. There was a leak from the person that did the soundtrack. The same guy from Homecoming is doing the soundtrack for Spider-Man: No Way Home. Something happened where it leaked. I think it's like number 16 or 19. Listen to that song. They're all integrated. You hear Toby's theme and you hear Andrew's theme. It's over. It's over, bro. It's gonna be like boom.
Yeah.
This movie's gonna blow out, man. Dang.
Yeah, if they're in that piece, then they're definitely in the movie now.
We're in the battle right now. It's gonna go between Spider-Man and Batman. That's basically what it's going. And in the next year, believe that it's either gonna go from Spider-Man to Batman, Spider-Man to Batman.
All I know is, man, is that this whole Spider-Man thing, I think it's smart. I think they're doing it right. It's one of the
Yeah.
few things that Marvel's actually doing right. Um, it's a great tie into another movie, and I think that's what Marvel's missing from other things. I mean, the reason why I say Hawkeye is trash is because the story's meh, the characters are meh. Like I really don't care about Hawkeye, and a lot of people don't. And then on top of that, fighting,
I do.
the fighting.
I
Okay,
do.
sure you guys do. I
No, I
guarantee
know.
not one of you have a Hawkeye like memorabilia.
I think Haley Steinfeld is killing it.
Anyone? Bueller. That's what I thought. Okay,
Haley
got it.
Steinfeld is killing it.
so what I'm saying is that you know the transition from them trying to use characters that they're not really popular. I don't think that's a right move. I think what Spider-Man's doing is a right move because even though Doctor Strange now is like a huge name and people love him, so that Spider-Man's a bigger character, and also it ties into when you go into Wanda versus um, Strange or whatever the multiverse of madness, whatever that plot's gonna be. They did it right. They did it with okay, Spider-Man's gonna transition from this using Doctor Strange and everything into this movie. If Marvel just did that with everybody else, that'd be great. Like She-Hulk, sure, but then you see like scientists Hulk, and you're like, like they bitched him out a lot. Excuse my language, but Hulk is supposed to be like, and Smart Hulk is supposed to be gray. By the way, I don't know why he's still green, but still, like I'm like, come on, man, like. In order to, I think Marvel's missing the big thing. Like, you should take your core characters, the characters that sell the most merchandise, most comics, etc. You should pair those characters with the smaller characters to transition into something bigger.
The only one that got the smaller characters to work was James Gunn. Let's face it, he did it in Marvel, and then he went over and did it with the Suicide Squad. He knows how to do it right.
Yeah.
Once. Because Guardians 1 was really good. Guardians 2 was the same formula as Guardians 1. I didn't care for it. I was just like, we're past this. Why are we doing the same thing over and over again? Same Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad was way better than the first one. But then again, when you're watching it, it's like they kill everyone off so fast, and it doesn't give you time to develop like, oh, I actually care about these characters. Probably Ratcatcher 2, probably. You feel for her story and her backstory. Idris Elba's character was the same as Will Smith's character.
You are getting John Cena's getting his own show, so
he is getting his own show. But what I'm saying is, for me, is like you're taking, you can get a one-hit wonder from characters that but look what they did. Perfect example. Thank you, Dave, for saying that. Thor is going to be paired with the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a good move. Why? Because Thor, even though Thor wasn't, let's face it, Thor 1 was good, Thor 2 is ugh. Thor 3 I had mixed messages about. It was really, really funny, but I didn't feel like that's Thor himself, However, it made tons of money. It made Thor even more popular, more relatable, so sure. And now you're pairing him with Guardians. That's a smart move. It's a very smart move.
I think you're going to see a lot of pairing. The problem with pairing the characters is like you have to build them up. You can't the problem with the core characters is this. The core characters can get burned out, right? Marvel at that time was on that burnout time period. And when they stopped that burnout time period is when Civil War came out. When Civil War came out and you saw Black Panther for the first time and they did it right. And then you saw Spider-Man for the first time. You said, wait a minute, Spider-Man's in the MCU. And I'm going to tell you, what solidified me with the whole Holland Spider-Man was his eyes. That was it. That was his eyes. When his eyes moved and went chop, chop, chop like that, that was it. That in the cartoons and the comics, that's what I know Spider-Man of. If you're wearing any type of suit or whatever, and you have those eyes, you are Spider-Man right off the bat. They did that. They took those characters, and what they did is they just piggybacked them. They gave them little stories, gave them little this. So you're gonna do that with Hawkeye. Don't be like I said. I'm not sleeping on Hawkeye because I think Hawkeye is gonna just create like a big kaboom that's gonna just connect everything.
I hope, because
Um,
honestly, I'm as much as I disliked Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm liking Falcon and Winter Soldier way more than I liked Hawkeye. I'm just saying. Like,
hey,
I'm
let
just
me ask
being
you
real.
guys. So about the Avengers, what if the MCU decided to follow, even though the game was crappy at first, it's getting better now, but Marvel's Avengers, what if they brought AIM back?
But they
And
brought who?
Aim.
AIM,
Oh,
they brought AIM back, and they had what's
Modoc.
the big head? No,
Yeah.
Mordo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mordo. Mordo runs it. Mordo and Monica. Can't think of the last name. She's Banner's love interest. Um, they end up running AIM, and they bring the Avengers Tower, and they start bringing in the droids and robots to control the Enhance and mutants and control the Avengers. I was just thinking, that's another villain, to bring into the fold.
Yeah.
So.
Like I said, I honestly love it, man. I like what Marvel's doing with this young Avengers. They're planting those seeds with the young Avengers. Yeah, Hawkeye's not the best, but guess what? Hawkeye was not to really tell Hawkeye's story. It's really to tell Kate Bishop's
Of
story.
course.
You know what I
And
mean?
that's for the young Avengers, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know where they're going with this, because they're building up Dark Avengers, right? They're building up Kang. They're building up, like I said, everything is just, it's weird to me
It's
of the
simple.
direction. It's almost like they don't know where they want to go.
No, it's
On
we don't know where they want to go. That's the
I don't
issue.
know, man.
That's I'm telling you, they know, but they're not telling us, so it's frustrating us. You don't even know if the young Avengers is going up against the Dark Avengers. You
That,
don't know that. You just, like I
William
said, that
Hurt
would
is
be all
too
out
old,
battle.
so if he's going to be Red Hulk, they need to do it soon because he's getting up there in age. William Hurt is getting
I
up.
don't know, man.
He looks bad in Black Widow. He looks bad. So if they're going to make him Red Hulk, they need to hurry up and do that.
Yeah.
Dave is always like very intuitive and quiet. Dave, say something.
I'm gonna have to agree with Ian here. I think they do know where they're going, because there is details that show up now that were in the first series of movies that came out. So there's
Absolutely.
that they plant way back in the past that is only just coming out now.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Everybody is on an end game high, and we want to know what's happening. It's got a top end game, and it's not like you know what I'm saying. So they're planting those seeds, and sooner or later, those shows that we said, man, you know what, I didn't too care for it too much. We're gonna go back to it and say, oh man, remember when this happened and this happened and this. It's gonna be a bigger picture that we're all gonna see.
Well, I hope so. But, however, how long until we get there?
Oh.
Because I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and Dave even quoted me on his Nerdbox channel, which I'm grateful for. Superhero movies are on their way out. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I'm telling you. Mark my words. What's today's date? We're going to talk about this in a year. This is December 9th of 2021.
Spider-Man can sink it all. It could. If they do it wrong, it could sink all of it.
I honestly think that Spider-Man's universe is going to be the one to outlast the MCU.
Oh, I think so too.
Tell you why I think superhero movies aren't going to go anytime soon, because of the fact if they continue to make $500+ million in the box office.
Hell yeah.
And then even with COVID happening now, they still making several $100 million over the budget of them. They're gonna keep making them, man. That's Hollywood. They're going to keep making them because of the fact it's making those studios money.
Look, how many people are excited to see Mila Jovovich come back in Resident Evil? Nobody. It's making money, but nobody likes it. Nobody wants to admit it. Come on now. And look, you got Avatar coming back with 4 more movies. Anybody I talk to hates the first one. Everybody just wanted to see it. They experienced it. Now it's like, oh, here we go again. Right?
Yeah, but Resident Evil, a single franchise that branched off and had nothing to do with video games so much, compared to comic book movies, superhero movies that have thousands of stories to tell. Come on, man.
Because Danny, you got to think of it this way, right? A comic book is the only product that circulates through every generation. Whether my dad's in his 70s, so he remembers comic books. He remembers a superhero where, you know, I have the next door neighbor. He's wearing a Spider-Man shirt because, you know, he loves Spider-Man. So I don't think superhero movies are going to flop out just because most of them are in green screen anyways. And the way that the pandemic works with the green screen, you're going to have less people and less everything around. I think it's going to work out that way. I think it's superhero movie. I think this is actually it's the opposite. I think more actors are going to get in a superhero film because they're not making that money. And I think Spider-Man No Way Home is going to say, look, if you ain't in a superhero film, why should I watch you?
Here's the deal. I will agree to disagree. And this is how. Because Dave made a great point. Just because you make the movies doesn't mean they're good. Even if it makes money, doesn't mean they're good. And what I mean by fading out is they not necessarily stop making them. However, there's going to be a genre that's going to overtake it. I promise you that. I'm calling it right now. There's going to be a genre that is going to come full circle because everything has its life cycles. But when it starts to get boring that you're figuring out the movies already, the only thing, like I said, Spider-Man has a lot of possibilities because of Spider-Man's story. And on top of that, he is the #1 Marvel character selling. Deadpool beat him when Ryan Reynolds came out with Deadpool. Other than that, Spider-Man has always been like the face of Marvel. Now, you can continue it, sure.
I was going to say, there's one genre that you can look at almost mirrors comic book genre in film, and that's the horror genre. Look at the 80s. All the slashers. It was all popular. We got 10 movies, 9 movies, 6 movies. We're still getting some movies from franchises in the 80s. Look at Puppet Master and Phantasm. So, Danny, like you said, it's going to phase out, and then there'll be some nostalgia, and then maybe it'll come back a little bit. But
well, I was going to counter what you just said there. The thing is, like, horror, and if you go to any so-called self-proclaimed guru or somebody that's been in the industry for a long time, they'll all say that horror is the one genre that doesn't go anywhere. It's always there. It's always there. So now,
it's always there, but it goes through its evolutions, and then the stories change. So we're not going to see what we see now in that same comic universe that we're getting. We may see more like the Birdman come out. We may see more real-to-life type of comic book movies and stories be told.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that they might delve into the whole graphic novel era that's more mature and things like that. But what I'm getting at is the studios execs, even the head of Warner Brothers said this, and the head of Columbia all said comic book films now are a surefire bet to them. So even if the film isn't good, they're still going to keep putting them out there because they know it's going to be guaranteed money. Yeah. And it's going to be guaranteed butts and seats, regardless of the quality of the film.
Right.
It's going to put butts to seats, and it's always going to be there now because of the fact that it's making these studios hundreds of millions of dollars.
I agree.
And producers are guaranteed to make 10%.
Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity, Saw. We can go through the franchises that were making money, and then the studios recognize that people were getting bored, and it's like, we're gonna hold off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think this is me. I'm gonna put the cherry on top on this. Like I said, Spider-Man, and it's trying to stay on the subject of Spider-Man too. You know what I mean? Spider-Man, I think, is gonna be the future. However, I also think this is and again, listen to me carefully. When I'm saying the superhero genre is gonna fade out is because another genre is gonna take its place, as more popularity. It's gonna make even more money, and then the studios are gonna shift over, like Dave said. Still make comic book movies for sure, obviously, because you're gonna make money. However,
Right.
with the popularity of something else coming into play, it's going to really, really boom, and they're going to have that shift. The only way I can see personally comic book movies surviving in the future is going to be just like how it was in the past. You're going to have a trilogy. You're going to have a standalone movie. You're not going to have this big grandiose universe again until later on in the future when that formula is no longer old.
Yeah.
You know
But what
I'm saying?
other genre is going to make billions of dollars? No other genre has done that.
I think
Are you-
too that
Oh, my God.
superheroes. What?
What other genre?
Action
What
movies.
other genre has made billions
Action
of dollars
movies.
off of one movie?
Dude, there are
Off of
10
one movie.
fast. Listen, they are 10 Fast and the Furious, bro. And off of one movie, Avatar before Endgame was the largest grossing movie. Before that was Titanic, okay? I'm just saying, bro. They're all different genres, but action movies had made mad money, especially in the 90s. Are we for real right now?
But I'm talking about one film. Okay, Avatar, yeah. Avatar, that, I mean, everybody was.
And then Titanic,
but I'm talking
Titanic
about-
at the time when it first came out was the largest grossing movie and one of the longest movies in film.
Yeah.
But the
I'm
thing
saying-
about it is we can't base
Go ahead.
that on that because here's the thing is like action movies now are so saturated. Here's the deal.
Mhm.
You have more shows putting out content that are more fire than the movies. So I think right now the shows are going to be the ones that are going to actually take over. I think you're going to see
Probably.
yeah, I think that's what you might see. You might see like the Harry Potter stuff come back. You might see this stuff. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I think superheroes bring out a big blockbuster. That's just plain and simple. And this is gonna be the movie that gets everybody back in the movie theater. They already said the highest movie. What was it? The highest movie. Was it Venom or something? I can't remember. It was like Black Widow. It was like 90 some million. They say projected domestically is 250 million domestically. This is the first movie that's opened in China. Shang-Chi wasn't even open in China. Hey, that's messed up.
Yeah, but here's the deal. You ready for
China,
it though?
Africa, France, all are showing Spider-Man at the same time. So
I'm about to tell you why though, Ian. Sticking on Spider-Man. Spider-Man
What's up?
is the face of Marvel, period. Not
they're
the
trying to
MCU.
make this movie the highest grossing movie of all time.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, again, for Spider-Man, he's the face
Right.
of Marvel, period. If you would have released, listen to me carefully, if you would have released another Fantastic Four movie instead of this, ain't doing it. If you would have
Absolutely.
released a new X-Men movie, ain't doing it.
Right.
Deadpool, pretty close, but ain't doing it. But since Spider-Man's the face of Marvel,
Yeah.
it's the same thing with DC. You get a Superman movie, maybe. You get a this, maybe. As soon as Batman comes out, everyone's like, it's Batman.
Yeah, it's bad.
Doesn't matter. Dude, a lot of people that I've heard are giving Batman Robert Pattinson a try because it's fucking Batman.
Of course.
Because it's Batman. That's the only reason why. Everyone's like, oh, the Twilight guy, and everyone now is like, hey man, it's Batman. You gotta give him
Because
a
this
shot.
looks dark. This looks sinister dark. Like,
But
I love it.
regardless,
And the fact
it's
that he
Batman.
beat the crap out of it.
Yeah, but regardless, what I'm saying is, it's the main point though. It's Batman. So that's all I'm saying, man. Like, I really, my challenge
But
with this
like I said, Spider-Man's gonna sell more because one, he's a kid. Okay. 2, he's a superhero that don't kill nobody. That's plain and simple. So I can take all my children, my kids, whatever. I can take all of those kids to go see this hero. Can I take them to go see Batman?
Yes, because Batman don't kill nobody either. Boom!
Batman will punch the hell out of somebody. I don't want no kids seeing it.
Vengeance.
You tell me yourself. That's how you defend yourself.
Yep. No, but honestly though, but like I'm saying, it's because they're the face of it though. That's why I said it's my challenge. My challenge is that Spider-Man is the face of Marvel. Like,
Absolutely.
is anything else gonna make as much money? I don't think so, man. Even when Kang comes and stuff like that, I really don't see it happening. I really don't. Unless this happens, Spider-Man, like Iron Man, is now the new head of the Avengers and leads the Avengers to fight Kang. That makes sense. Why? Because Spider-Man is for sure going to be the #1 seller of all time. You have him as the leader of the new Avengers. It's totally different than the comic book 1. But 2, now you're making guaranteed money. Mic drop.
Absolutely.
Boom!
And Tom Holland's young enough to be around for another 10 years doing it, bro.
What about the real life fight? So who wins, Spider-Man or Neo? Does Matrix get rolled over?
Neo.
Oh my god.
Neo.
Oh, dude. I think
We got
they
2 big movies 2 weeks apart.
Spider-Man's going to take it. I think
Spider-Man
the Matrix.
coming.
I think the Matrix did as much as it's super popular, and I'm gonna see it. I think they pulled a bad card by releasing it right next to Spider-Man.
But not only that, it's released on HBO Max. You mean that's pretty much set in stone.
Here's the deal. You ready for it though?
Theater.
However, there's one thing that might save it, and you ready for it? The wave of everyone going to the movie theaters to see Spider-Man could be the wave for the Matrix, because now everyone's like, oh shoot, Matrix comes out next week, I gotta buy my ticket.
You know what? The other thing is, hey, the Matrix already had that date. Remember, Spider-Man got moved to December 14th.
I forgot.
Spider-Man got moved to December 14th.
I forgot.
And when you see Spider-Man, you ain't gonna see that one time. Let's just be real. Nobody gonna see that movie one time. You gonna see that movie at least twice or 3 times.
Dude, if these guys come in it, especially,
they're gonna have my money. But listen, I'm seeing it in 4D. I want them to come right at me.
you're gonna hear Careless Whisper play while Tom Holland caresses Ian in the face. Like he's going, yep.
Do you think the rumor is true that Holland might show up in, or is it confirmed that he is going to be in Doctor Strange too?
I didn't hear anything about it.
I don't know.
Yeah, there was a rumor that he was going to show up in Doctor Strange too as well after this film.
Huh. Did they announce what his new picture deal is?
No,
I think
they
it's like
haven't.
a 4-film deal, right?
It's a 3-movie deal, and I think it's 5 appearances.
That's cool.
That's his new deal?
Yeah.
Just 3 movies?
That's just the MCU, so we don't even know what the Sony Spider-Man universe is.
Now here's one last thing. Tom Holland said he wants to fight Morbius.
He wants to fight what?
He wants to fight Morbius. They said Tom Holland wants to go against Morbius. Now here's the deal. Tied into Spider-Man, and then we can wrap this up. Morbius showed so many different universe characters. I don't know what's going on with that movie. So they had the painting on the wall was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Yeah. And then you had Michael Keaton's Vulture from Tom Holland's universe in there, which, again, we all discussed. It could be the Vulture from his universe, whatever. But then you had, I think there was something that showed...
You had the Daily Bugle logo from...
Venom.
I can't remember if it was from Holland's movies or Garfield's movies. But the Daily Bugle paper looked like one of those 2 films.
Yeah, so it's weird. It looks like all these things are crossing together in Morbius. So hence my theory again about the Sony verse
I,
and the MCU verse tied together.
I think there's that same thing that happened to Venom. I think that happened to Morbius,
Mm.
and that would
Well,
make sense.
though, if that is true, if Holland, wants to go up against Morbius, I don't know if you remember in the '90s cartoon, they had that. It was like one or two episodes where
Okay.
it was Blade and Spider-Man against Morbius and Blade's mom. She was a vampire. Um, and I don't know if you remember that from the '90s cartoons. That
Yep,
would be
I
a
sure
good.
did.
That would be a good movie or whatever they want to do it. If you had Holland and Mahershala Ali going against Leto and whoever, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, because as soon as you see Morbius at the end, they did another scene, and you see Vulture say, "Hey, man, I know you're coming out. We gotta talk." So
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see.
All
we'll
right,
see,
final
man.
Yeah, see.
predictions.
Tom Holland shows up in post-credit scene in Morbius next month.
Mm, 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 mm.
Yeah, so I still deliver.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much, pretty much.
Yeah, because it is next month, right? It comes out
Yeah, so it's
January,
the
right?
following month.
Yeah. Yep. So that would be
Following month.
Prediction, Ian. Final prediction.
Uh,
You can list them off.
we're gonna like I got a lot. Gwen Stacy at the end. Um, the final plow. Hints of Miles Morales. You may see like a little cameo. Or you may see the parents of Miles Morales, which would be great. I think Mysterio, something's up with him. I'm not buying it. It just doesn't make any sense on I don't know. I just like I said, Doctor Strange and Mysterio, something's going on. I think Mysterio is secretly alive. He could be Doctor Strange. Like I said, he could be posing as whatever. Mysterio, also too, remember going back to the time when Spider-Man actually met Mysterio. He was working with what's that race of aliens that can change that I always tell?
Skrulls.
He
Scrolls.
was working with the Skrulls. He wasn't working with Fury. So another possibility. So Mysterio is still alive. He's a sixth member. He's bringing everybody out. That's it.
Dave.
Toby dies. Garfield shows up in Morbius. Saying it now. Toby is
I'll be
dying,
okay
and then
with that.
Andrew Garfield is getting his third movie.
I'll be okay
Oh.
because I hated Toby in the role. Garfield is my dude. Garfield is my dude.
Oh my God! Even though in Morbius they had the mural of Toby's, you're thinking he's dying?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest impact in that movie. Is you kill Toby off, that's going to hit everybody, and then we get Garfield, and he gets his third film.
Oh my God, dude. Okay, that was wow. I'm trying to wrap shit up. I'm trying to wrap shit up, and Dave is opening a whole new window. Like we ain't done yet. Oh my God, dude. You know what? If Toby dies, that's the end of an era. That's it. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's almost like the last huzzah that Hugh Jackman and Sir Patrick Stewart had as Logan and Professor X. By the way, that's why he didn't come back. They asked him to come back for the MCU, and he said no. Sir Patrick Stewart, because he said that he left off with a big death like that. So man, so Toby dies. Andrew. Okay, so here are my things. You ready? So there's been a lot of rumors that the grenade that Goblin throws in the trailer, that's killing Ned. And so instead of the Uncle Ben dying, it's going to affect Tom Holland. So I could see that happening. Two,
Can I put you off 1 second about a death?
Yeah,
Another one?
yeah,
Happy.
yeah.
Happy's dead in this one too.
I think Happy's dead. I think
You think
Happy
that's
is
gonna kill
dead.
Happy? No.
Yeah, I
He's the
think
guy
that's
that's getting blown up in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Remember, station.
Yeah, Ned
Or-
is on that cliff when what's her name falls off. So I think
True.
I'd say Happy.
Or
He
how
is
about
sitting in the
how about
car.
Aunt May?
Nah, because
Nah.
he's still a kid.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I could see Happy dying because that scene of him sitting in the car and you see the SWAT team behind him is in the same location where Goblin throws the pumpkin bomb and Peter's trying to catch it. It looks like some type of mall or something fancy.
Or that's
store
how, or that's
something like
how, or that's how McGuire dies. That Tom Holland tries to grab the bomb and he misses and can't get it in time. And then you have Goblin killing Spidey. Dude.
that. What if it's that same shot from Spider-Man, the first movie, where you see the pumpkin bomb and you see McGuire's face? Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh
Dude.
man.
Oh, Dave, I hate you for opening that Pandora's box, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so now question. Hold up now. So what if it's Andrew that dies instead of McGuire?
Oh dude, you know a lot of people are gonna be pissed.
Yeah,
I
'cause
would.
to me, he's my favorite Spider-Man.
I'd be number one. I would be just like Khabib, and I'd be like, send me location. I'm about to whoop everyone's ass that made this movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that would crush me, dude. That would
I'd
crush
be
me.
like, send me location. Nah, man. Yeah. So okay, that's a good one, Dave. Damn it. I do believe though, if none of the Spideys die, this is just my belief, we're gonna get revamped Andrew and Toby. If Toby doesn't die, if Andrew doesn't die, we're gonna get revamped versions of them. Some way, somehow. Whether it's across the Spider-Verse that they're voice actors as Spidey, like their Spideys get transferred in there. You know, something like that. I feel like this is not gonna be the end for them, but a new beginning. And
I think they're
especially-
gonna clear the name. That's what I think. I think they're in there to clear the name. Like they're saying this MCU Tom Holland, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Now, when he states his case, guess what? You see Andrew Garfield swinging with his suit on. You see Toby swinging with his suit on. So that's going to save grace. That's why I don't think they're going to die. I think that's the kicker, that Peter Parker is not Spider-Man in that universe.
Oh, cool, man.
That would be the kicker, yeah.
I can see that.
But I think everybody's gonna forget he is who he is.
Yeah.
Now, just like I discussed with you and Marcus, and this is why I'm saying this setup. You ready? They're gonna make a Madam Web. They have to, man. They're gonna have to make the Madam Web
spoke to about it.
with every single Spider-Man. I'm telling
You know
you.
who they spoke to about it?
That would be the greatest thing ever. That would be the greatest thing ever. if they
And
did
then
that.
on top of that, like I told you, what's gonna be the #1 movie again? Spider-Man. Why? You get Madam Web with every single Spider-Man, and then you can bring Miles, you can bring Kane, you can bring Ben Reilly, you can bring all of them.
You could bring the animated into the Spider-Verse. Like, man.
You know who I want as my Madam Web? Here we go. Fan
Charlize
cast.
Theron, you said that.
Charlize Theron.
I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go with a blockbuster person. She's already had a movie where she's already covering her eyes right off the bat. Sandra Bullock. Get him.
Nah.
Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock.
Really, just say Sandra Bullock? Ugh.
You know why I said that? Because they've been asking about it. Look it up. They've been asking.
Dave, what do you think, man? Dave is super zen. I hate it when you're like that. You're just like,
No, Sandra. I don't think she could pull it off.
thank you.
She's a
Oh,
great
Dave.
actress. I just don't think she could.
Yeah, I don't think she could.
I'm just saying.
I'm telling you, you can get like the chick that plays M in James Bond, that old lady, man. You can have her as Madam Web.
Oh, she would be great.
I'm telling you,
She
man.
would be great. Because
Helen
she
Mirren.
would bring that. Helen Mirren. Yep.
Yeah, she's good.
Will bring that. They will bring that class that Madam Web has. You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my theory. My theory is this is the beginning of something even bigger for Spider-Man, not the just, MCU
Oh yeah,
and stuff
for
like
sure.
that. I really do, man. I think that we can get amazing things. Oh, I'm calling it right now since we called Morbius stuff. I'm calling just like how, and listen, this is crazy. Just hear me out. Morbius was at the end of Blade, the original Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, about that.
What if they tie that scene into that movie, but they use the new guy instead of Wesley? So it's still like that timeline of part one.
Dude.
Dude. Just saying.
So
I'm calling Blade. I'm calling Blade and Morbius as a cameo at the end, like post credit scenes or whatever. I'm calling Blade instead of Spidey.
Do you guys think we'll see what's his name? Thomas Hayden
Who?
as Sandman, like in his human form? No. Same thing with Connors, right? Safon. You think
Ooh, that's a good
do you
question.
think we'll see them as themselves
Probably not.
rather than? Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't
Because they're
think
not
so.
on IMDb at all. Even though you can't really go off of IMDb all the time, but yeah, they're not listed in the cast. So
Yeah, probably not. And if so, probably like at the end, like
yeah,
when they're defeated, but probably not
Yeah.
like off the bat.
Mhm.
unless they show like archive footage from the previous films,
For real.
So, yeah.
Yo, if this is one damn Mysterio illusion that Toby and Andrew are not real, that none of the
that'll
villains
piss me
are
off.
real, that
That
none
would
of this
piss
is
me
real,
off.
and it's still Mysterio, I'm gonna be pissed, dude.
That
I
would piss
think
me off
it's gonna go in that
so much.
direction, but it's gonna flip everybody's mind. I think it's gonna go in that direction, but it's gonna
I'd be
be
so
Do you think that he
upset,
would
bro.
do that illusion prior to getting killed by the drone?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that would piss me off so much.
I would be so mad.
I would be angry. I would be
Oh.
so livid, dude.
I'd be.
Oh, God.
Oh my god, you have no idea how angry I would be.
We'll make the
It's-
Rick Grimes theory the Peter Parker theory. He wakes up in the hospital. It's like, oh, what? This is all a dream? Oh my God! I was never Spider-Man.
Oh man, that would piss me off so much.
Wakes up from a coma, and you find out that once the drones like killed Mysterio, like a piece of something hits Tom Holland in the head, and he was knocked out this entire time. Wakes up. What happened?
Oh man, that would piss me off so much. But I did call that we were getting Marvel movies when they hinted that in Far From Home. So now we're getting the own TV show on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I saw that.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Cool. Well, any final thoughts, gents? Those are my final thoughts. I think that this movie is gonna open its segue into more Spider-Man movies with both Maguire and Andrew, unless Maguire dies. Damn you, Dave. Damn you.
I don't want no Spider. I'm gonna say Gwen at the end. Gwen at the end.
Wait, who would you all cast for Harry if they bring Harry in?
Oh, what's the dude that played in Dune? He's the perfect Harry.
Oh, yeah, the actor that played the lead. Yeah.
That's
And
he
then
would be a good Harry.
And then my Gwen would be the girl from Jumanji, the blonde girl. She's in that. I know what she did last summer. I think her name is
I
Madison.
haven't watched
Right?
that show yet.
It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty good.
Who would you cast for Felicia?
For Felicia,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with new Kristen Stewart. New Kristen Stewart.
I actually kind of like that idea because,
no.
yeah.
What you need to do is go to the strip bar, find a chick with some big old titties, and cast her as Felicia. That's all I'm saying. Oh my
I think
god.
I think Kristen Stewart would tear that up, man.
Knocking that out of the park. Her
Yeah.
last several films, man.
By the way, that was a joke. YouTube. That was not
We
real.
know.
Yeah, you guys know. YouTube don't know. Damn it! You said something that I had an idea and it left me. Forget it. All right, y'all. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. This was a long one because, man, we know that it's definitely gonna be something big. I'm seeing it opening night. Ian seeing it opening night. Dave seeing it the next day. Marcus, when you seeing it?
Good night.
Thursday night too. So you're seeing it opening night.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I mean, it's gonna be awesome. And I got my Spider-Man NFTs because I use my AMC account. So gonna be worth some money. So when I'm rich, you're gonna remember this this little podcast.
Remember this NFT, baby.
For real, black cheddar.
I was scrolling through my IG and saw that they got in the Avengers Against Humanity card deck.
Oh, that's dope.
That up, man. I was looking at some of the questions and answers, and I'm like, wow.
Oh,
It's amazing.
that's what I was gonna say. Dark Avengers. It better be after X-Men because we need Dakin as Wolverine in Dark Avengers. Anyway.
Yeah.
Alrighty, y'all. We love you. Be safe, and we will talk to you right after the movie. Peace.
See you later.